morning, vlogsters. Today is Saturday, the 8th of February, 2020. I'm geolocated. No, I'm kidding. I wanted to come on here because last night I did a Dollar Tree haul. And before the Dollar Tree haul, I vlogged a little bit. And I realized that as I was vlogging, it was cathartic. I mentioned in it, and you guys won't see it, and I'll tell you why in a minute. I mentioned in it that talking to you, and I'll give you the same analogy. When something's weighing on me, if I'm carrying 1,000-pound burden, that's the example I used. If there is 1,000-pound burden on me, and I share it with 1,000 of you, we each have a 1-pound burden, or 999 of you. We each have a 1-pound burden. When I talk to my friends, maybe I'll share the burden with 2 or 3 people. Then we each have option A, 333-pound burden, or option B, which is more likely the scenario, is that I will keep 997 pounds of it on me, and I will just give a little to each, or, give them each 10 pounds or 20 pounds. I will not split it equally amongst my friends. But for me, you obviously are my family and friends. That's what I've been calling you since the beginning. But for me to share with you, the burden is lifted like therapy. Like I said, it's very cathartic. It's very it's a really great tool. This vlogging, this talking to you guys is a very great tool in helping me straighten out thoughts in my head, as it is when you talk with a friend or something. I vlogged last night, and last night I was not in a great place. Yesterday was the 10th anniversary of my father passed away, and I started off, I didn't know how I was going to be, so I didn't prepare Jimmy on Thursday to say, hey, tomorrow might be rough. Probably should have, but I didn't. I didn't prepare him for that, but what I did is I woke up in the morning and I said, I wake up before him, and I woke up with the tears and everything, and I said to him, I'm like, I'm not doing very well today, and I really could use you to support me, I guess. But how I actually said it was, I can't handle any of your stuff today because I have too much of my own. Which I guess is sort of like, many of you may understand that. Well, I just realized that light wasn't on. Many of you may understand that as well. Jimmy and I support each other differently. He supports me physically. I support him emotionally. I feel like that's probably very similar to a lot of heterosexual relationships. Actually, it might be true of all relationships, but I know, I think that might be more almost all the time, Sorry. I basically, every once in a while, and yesterday was one of the days, maybe twice a year or something, I just say to him, I am going through some stuff. I can't be there for you today. So it's almost like I tell him, don't act up, but it's hard. It's hard when you don't know what is going to happen, you know, to you throughout the day. But I know that, like, when my father passed away, he was absolutely amazing. And if there was no other reason to stay with somebody for the last 10 years, that would be it. So I asked him yesterday in the morning. I said it's going to be a rough. It's rough. Not going to be. It's been a rough day, and if I could just have that guy here today, that'd be great. Well, turns out through a series of unfortunate events, I didn't get that guy. I got the other guy. So last night when I was vlogging, I was like, I feel like this is another complain about gym video, but you guys are my friends, and I feel like, you know, not only do we share all the good times, but we share the bad times and stuff. But what I realized last night after I vlogged, we came inside, we started to watch some TV. He was up to his antics. I said, why don't you go play video games? And then I could tell his attitude shift, which is really weird. And I think I've talked about this before. I'm not the kind of person who reads, like, side effects of medication, because I don't like to look at something through any certain types of glasses. What I do is I search a situation. I actually use, like, my past education or reference, to say, I think I know maybe what could have caused this, so let's try to figure it out. So I said to him yesterday, like last night, I said, did you have any Mountain Dew today? So we bought a 12-pack of Mountain Dew last week or the week before. That was supposed to last him up until yesterday. It was actually like about 10 days ago. So he was off last week, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, but ended up working one of those days. Actually ended up working 2 of those days. So when he's at work, he drinks Mountain Dew. He doesn't drink it excessively, apparently, but he does drink it. He doesn't care for fountain Mountain Dew, and I can see by, like, the receipts in the bank and stuff when he buys a bottle. So we've bought him 12-pack to have 2 cans a day when he's off. 2 cans is 24 ounces. When he's at work, he drinks a 20-ounce bottle. So that's like roughly the equivalent. But of course, and I say this as a person of addiction who battles constantly and loses constantly, that when you're addicted to something, it's hard to just say 2 of these. That is the hardest part. You know, it's why alcoholics don't drink at all, because it's hard when you're addicted to something to make yourself limited to it, as opposed to, you know, just quitting altogether. So I noticed that he was extremely tired, and he was very irritable. And last night, when he started to get, like, extremely tired, I said to him, did you have any Mountain Dew today? And he said, no. I said, why? He said, because I don't have any more. I said, that was supposed to last you till today. You know, you had 6 days off. There's 12 cans. Today was the 6th day off in the 10 days or whatever. So he's like, I know, it's on me. I said, I appreciate that it's on you, and I appreciate that you know that it's on you. However, when you not getting your drug of choice, whatever it is, and the caffeine and sugar is a drug, because it reacts to your body chemically, just like other drugs do. When you don't get your drug of choice, you're not just the only one who suffers, because you're crab pot. And I might have used more colorful language. But I said it affects the people around you extremely bad. Like, you're crabby to your mom, you're crabby to me. You're tired, you're lethargic, you can't do anything. Like, this affects your life at home. Not just you and you having to deal with it yourself. So then later on in the evening, he was really being like, I want to say selfish or whatever, because I don't really know that that's even the right word. But he was just being like, you know, like it, you know. And I asked him, I said, did you do your Bible study this morning? And he's like, no. I said, isn't it amazing that I can tell the difference? I can tell the difference in a day when he has made it God-centric, family-centric, then gym-centric, or days when he starts off being gym-centric. And the whole world has to succumb to... That's not right. But you understand what I'm saying. So he is a very different person. So this leads me back to, you know, the not seeing things through the colored glasses that, you know, when you see, a lot of times when you see the potential side effects in a medication, sometimes you can create those side effects in your body. Oh, well, that medicine said that it was going to make me irritable. So the fact that I'm irritable has nothing to do with anything else except that medication. But that's the type of thing. And this is the kind of thing that I like, I don't want to say like to talk about, but this is the kind of thing that I like to figure out. I like to be able to know why are we having this problem right now? Why are you like this? What happened? Because, and I'm not like trying to do that, but I feel, and I've learned, and I can almost prove it in my history or my education or my career or my lifespan, that if you can find the source of a problem, you can fix it, change it, try to stop it, or prevent it from happening in the future. And that's what it's all about. It's not about me being controlling of a situation, because I know there's no control over the situation. There's no control over any situations. Control is just an illusion. I feel like that's a quote from a movie. Oh, Jurassic Park. You never had control. That was the illusion. The heck was that? I know you guys heard it. No, you never had control. That was the illusion. But anyway, it's not about for me trying to control a situation. It's about me trying to learn from it. Those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. We need to learn why something happens to avoid it happening in the future. The reason Jim is drinking Mountain Dew again at home on his days off is because he quit cold turkey and he kind of detoxed his body and then started drinking it at work again and sort of sneaking it and not telling me. And his attitude, I could tell instantaneously. Maybe over 2 days. I shouldn't say instantaneously. But I could tell quickly. I said, you're drinking soda again at work? You're drinking Mountain Dew at work? And he's like, well, kind of, yeah. And I was like, are you curious how I know? Like, do you even care how I know? Like, your attitude and your physicality and everything about you changes so much when you're able to have that drug that it's tangible. Like, anyhow. So this whole thing leads up to last night. We were going from the movies to Taco Bell. We went to see Birds of Prey last night. I love having these movie passes. It just takes the burden financially. I know it's silly because you actually pay for it once a month, but it takes off the burden financially on like date night to be like, you know, we can go to dinner or we can go to the movies. If we go to the movies, we can't have snacks. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. The fact that the movies are paid for already, it's so much better. It's so much better. But anyhow, we went to the movies, and between the movie theater and the restaurant, or Taco Bell, the restaurant, yeah, they're quite far from each other in town. I said to him, I think that living with your mother has given me great insight into many of your behaviors. And we talked, and we really talked. And he said some things where normally he just listens or gets defensive. But last night he just was really open and honest. And he listened and he talked. And it was so nice. And I realized that I love my husband. And I know that I've said this to you guys lots before. Or I'll say I love Jim and then I'll complain or whatever. But I realized that my husband has been through some stuff. And I'm not saying that your husbands haven't. And maybe your husbands have and are more successful. Obviously, this is not a comparison. I don't keep up with the Joneses, and I never have. But I just want to tell you that I think he's extraordinary for all of the challenges he's had to go through. And obviously, he's not perfect. He isn't. But neither am I. I mean, as long as we continue to strive for self-improvement and self-education, that's all I really ever could ask from either one of us. And to find the happiness, to find the joy in everything. Everything has joy. It was last night when we were talking, and of course the day was over. But I realized I was really sad this year because my life has changed so dramatically and my dad wasn't there to appreciate it. Which I know in the grand scheme of things, he's watching over me and he's there all the time. But that was my sadness. But I realized after talking to him last night that how much joy I found when my father passed away. I know that sounds crazy. Again, I was sad for me and I missed him. And I miss him still. But the fact that he had no more restrictions. My father's joy, besides being married to my mother and having children, his only other joy in life was fishing. And he fished every weekend. And after he retired, he actually fished for commercial fishermen, like for side work. He did that 4 or 5 days a week. And it was his life's blood, like truly, truly. It was a gift. He had a gift for it. He was very, very gifted fisherman. Anybody will tell you that. And it was seasonal work, but yeah. So in 2006, he actually slipped on the boat, on his friend's boat, getting on his boat in the beginning of the season. And he never fished again, not even off the pier or the dock. He kind of did that. He felt like if he couldn't go full immersion, he went cold turkey. And it wasn't about everything. It wasn't like he didn't have a very black and white outlook on life. But for things like that, when he quit drinking, you know, he had a bad back and he went to a chiropractor, and the chiropractor said, you know, when you drink and then your muscles do this and then this can happen. And he was like, okay. So he went from to being what he called a functioning alcoholic to never drinking really again. You know, a cordial at the end of a wedding, or if somebody had like a Viennese hour, he'd love to have like an espresso with a shot of something in it. Frangelica, the orange liqueur, that was it. But, you know, but he just like, okay, I don't need it, and I didn't drink it. When he got into forced retirement in 1998, I think I told you guys this story last week. He had some savings. I went and I got like 3 more jobs, and we were shopping, and it was the time of the month to pick up his cigarettes. And he went and he said how much they were, and he didn't buy them, and he had the rest that he had at home, and he just slid them off to the side of the table and quit smoking. It's just, it's very powerful to know somebody could just push off an addiction like that. When I met Jim and my little brother was going into college, what we think is my father must have had a health scare of one form or another, but my father decided that he didn't want to eat the way he was eating anymore. What he actually did tell me at the time was he had lost his sense of taste. And that is possible because he had smoked for 50 years almost. And they do say that when you stop, it can do all things to all your senses. So this was about a year after he quit smoking. Actually, it was, roughly around a year after he quit smoking. He went to just eating rice and steamed fish, and then he eventually added peanuts. And he was eating this like 2-3 meals a day. Like, that was all he was eating. He would just have rice and make a big pot of rice and perfected rice, and he became like rice master. And I wanted to make sure, I told him, I was like, make sure it's not financial. You're not doing this financial reasons, right? And he's like, no, I really can't taste anything. But I didn't realize until afterwards, when I became like more of a cook, that I needed to call BS on that, because he still was cooking everything flavorful. And maybe that is repetitive. Maybe there just was repetitive motions. Maybe he did know exactly how many pinches of salt went into Spanish rice or whatever. So I don't know how to do, I don't know. But anyway, so he had this health crisis. So then he had this health crisis, or possibly, I don't know, and stopped tasting, and then stopped eating crap. Just stopped eating, lost a bunch of weight. People thought he was sick, like almost like, did your dad have cancer? I actually shared a picture on Instagram on his day of when he was at like the height of his weight loss. But then he gained some back because he started eating food again. Not a lot, not back to where he was before. That didn't come till after he hurt himself. And even then, he wasn't really back to where he was. But he was heavier than he'd been in a long time. Oh, no, a few years. 10, 8, 6. But, how did we even start talking about my dad? Oh, about addiction. That's right. So he's able to just like cold turkey. And I always admired that about him. But for most people, you know, you feel like you have to go all or nothing. I'm like lost in the conversation. My brain is now completely focused on talking about my dad. So I feel like I need to stop this, rewind it, and find out what I was talking about. I was talking about the joy that I found when he passed away, and the fact that he could fish again. And I don't know how we got into this like off-topic rabbit hole, but I felt joy. I found joy in his passing because I realized that he was not going to be sick anymore, not going to be dependent on others, which he hated. He's going to be able to fish that almighty pond, or river or stream or, you know, whatever it is. I just knew that, that he was going to be able to be whatever he wanted to be after. I'm a Christian. I believe in heaven. Excuse me. I don't believe that we're a body with a soul. I believe we're a soul with a body. But that's my personal beliefs. I'm not telling you have to believe that. But that's one of the things that helps me choose joy in every day, is that you can, you know that this isn't all there is. This earthly body, this earthly being, this earthly time that we have is not all there is. Of course, make it everything you want it to be, and love everyone you can. And I mean that in a very non-sexual way, but just love everyone you can. Spread the love, spread the joy, spread the happiness all over the people around you. Because you don't ever know when they're not going to be there, or you're not going to be able to be there anymore. So, I think I've talked enough. So I just wanted to thank you for joining me, and thank you for being my therapy, and thank you for being cathartic. By the way, I might be like weird. I don't even know if I watch this and my tongue is weird. I sneezed yesterday and I bit my tongue so bad. I've got like a purple welt and it hurts a lot now. A lot. I made sure it wasn't bleeding. It's just like a little tiny, like a blood blister, you know, like little purple. Yeah. I just sneezed and it came right down on it. It was so weird. And you know, with sneeze, sometimes that force is like really hard. So I said some colorful words afterwards. But I went to the movies last night and I couldn't have popcorn. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to eat popcorn. It hurts so bad. So I wasn't sure if I was favoring that side of my mouth or anything. Or my tongue. I don't know. But that's everything, guys. I love you and take care. God bless, and I'll see you next time. Bye.